not losers. Just like the old times.
Good evening.
It's another Screamfest
2025.
Actually, we got a really good one. It's the sequel to a really messy slapaghetti-style horror movie that I think all you metalheads out there are gonna love. So let's get into it. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing another spoiler-free review of a movie from Screamfest LA 2025, and this one is the sequel. A sequel
to Deathgasm 2 Goremageddon.
So yeah, it's actually pretty cool. I was very excited to see this, and I was desperately waiting for the sign-up screener thing to happen, and it eventually did. Both me and Jason over at Sinister Cinema Reviews were very excited to see this one, and I'm going to tell you today what I think about it, what I think of it compared to the original movie, which I own. See what you think. But first, a message from our friends. Remember Alex Winter from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? He actually directed a movie and starred in it, and it was one of the craziest, weirdest, wildest, monster-riddled films ever made on cinema. The masks and creatures in this movie are insane. It was a movie called Freaked, and Alamo Drafthouse and Umbrella have teamed up together to put out a 4K release, not only in digital, which is out now. You can literally go out and watch it on 4K digital by rent or buy, or if you'd like, you know Umbrella, and they put out some crazy box sets, and they did one for the movie Freaked, which is just insane, and it looks amazing. But I'll put a pre-order link down below for you guys. It's coming out November 5th, so pre-order now. And let's get back to the review. So obviously from the first movie, they defeated the evil, and it cost a few people a couple of their friends' lives in the process of doing it, but Brodie reigned champion as a metal god hero that he was. But did it all pan out to be exactly what he wanted it to be? Turns out in Deathgasm 2 Goremageddon, Brodie is a washed-up metalhead who is down on his luck. His girlfriend's left him, his bandmates are gone, and there's a new Battle of the Bands that's coming up that he wants to be a part of, dreaming still to be a metal god. And so he decides that he's gonna resurrect some old memories, literally, like his buddies from the grave, by using the sheets of doom that brought all about the carnage from the first movie, and just use it to get this friends back in order and relive the tales of metal history. And things go poorly, as they always do in these sequels, and it unleashes a ton of zombies, gore, riffs, and apocalyptic carnage, only for those who love the first one. And boy, does it deliver on the goods on the gore here, man. They have definitely amped things up. It is a much bigger film than the previous one. I think some of the humor in this one is a little bit, it's good in spots and it's bad in others. There's a lot of jokes. It's not overwhelming. If you know the guy who directed it and wrote it, it's Jason Howden, who he also did Guns Akimbo. So he's done some comedies and he knows his way around the comedy. This one is a little bit more spastic, obviously, because it's supposed to be. Brodie and his friend who lost his arm in the first movie has some pretty good gags in here that I thought were funny and ongoing. Some of them, I didn't really love them all the time, but by the end of the movie, I was definitely on board for this movie sequel, and it definitely won me over. I was a little hesitant because, it's like you always get these sequels, and it's like, oh boy, they're going to ruin it somehow. And it is a different vibe in a lot of different ways because, obviously, these guys are grown up. If you look at the guy Brodie was in the first movie and what he is now with a full-on beard, he looks like there's 10 years that have passed. Well, there actually has been 10 years that have passed, hasn't there? But seriously, yeah, it definitely has a different vibe, very much in the same way that, and in no way the same story. But Bill and Ted's third movie, you know what I mean? Like, they thought they were going to be these, like, metal gods, and things didn't work out. So then they get into more trouble again and things go sideways like it always does. And some of the people, their friends that they dig back up, are causing some of the problems. Are obviously they're zombies and they're eating people, which is a problem. But they don't really care because it's the battle of the bands. And Brodie is like super, super important, to that cause. It reminds me, if you ever remember in the movie Road Trip, where the guy is like, we got to get this tape. And all of his friends come along with him on this big road adventure. And it gets to the point where it's kind of ridiculous that everybody has gone on this road trip with their friend.
My father gonna kill me when he finds out about this.
What the hell are we gonna do now? I'm totally
For a fucking tape that it's like, well, why am I even here? You're just a fucking narcissist. You know what I mean? They play into that. There's some really good metal jokes. There's some great metal cameos in here. There's some great metal music in here as well. We got a ton of different stuff. I don't want to spoil too much of that because I feel like this is way too early for you guys to know too much about the movie because unfortunately we do not have a time that this is going to be releasing. It could be the end of this year. It could be the end of next year. I don't know. Sometime next year I don't know when. Unfortunately, we don't have a release date yet, but hopefully this festival helps them sell it or at least push the release date closer to now. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I had a really good time. The humor can be kind of subjective. It's always going to be that way. It's not going to be the most funny thing I've ever seen all year, by the way, but it is definitely a lot of fun. And like I said, by the end of the movie, I really was won over by a lot of the ridiculous gore and pranks and stupid jokes. Definitely had my fill of dick, that's for sure. But you couldn't have a Deathgasm movie without a lot of dick. Let's just put it that way. I mean, seriously, there's a lot of poop jokes and everything else in this movie. So, I mean, it's just one of those kind of films that you expect the grossest, silliest, dumbest stuff to happen in the movie. And, some people would die that you're just like, oh no, really? You're just gonna like that? There's also some people that he goes up against in this battle of the bands. His ex-girlfriend is a big part of the story, her new life path, and their friends are trying to stay together, and it's just kind of more of a friend movie, and it's just a metal movie. You can't take this kind of thing way too seriously. It's just a movie you're gonna have a good time with. And if you're not on board for the first one, then I would say don't sign up for the second one because it's pretty much more of the same, just a little bit bigger. They're out in the streets a lot more, doing a lot more crazy things. Wasn't blown away by it, but I still think a lot of people who were fans of the first one are really going to like this one. Ultra fans, going to love it. Anybody below that, maybe, I don't know, could be on the fence a little bit. Sitting at around about 7.5 out of 10. And that's a good movie to me. A lot of the movies I rewatch the most are at that range, literally. It's imperfect, but they're just enjoyable and fun. And there's just no reason why you shouldn't have fun watching it or enjoying some of the humor in it. And some of the cameos and stuff, obviously they had a lot more money, so they were able to do a lot more. And, who knows? Maybe they'll even have a third one if this one does well. So, which I would personally love to see, because they kind of lead you in a direction that kind of makes you go, no way. And I almost feel like Jason Howden threw that out there intentionally to just make people talk about it. And then, the other people that I'm talking about have to do it. And you'll see what I mean when you watch the movie. But yeah, if you're a metal fan, you have no reason not to watch this. And if you're a gore fan, this is made for you. So the two of those things together, have a fucking good time, man. Just enjoy the movie. Get the blood all over you. The gore is aplenty. The jokes are aplenty, whether they're good or not. By the end of the movie, you're going to be won over like I was. So I really enjoyed it, and I would love to see it a second time this year to see, if it places on my list or not. I usually wait till it gets about an 8, and I'm almost there. I just, sometimes I like to give a movie another watch to see what that does for the end of the year thing. So, but yeah, I think you're going to enjoy it. And I hope all of you get a chance to see it this year rather than next year. But I'm sorry I don't have any more information for you on that. I know some of these videos, I always get comments a year later that are like, where the hell's the movie, man? Like I put it out or something. And no, I don't. I just do the reviews around here. But anyway, thank you, Jason. Thank you, everyone that made the movie. I really enjoyed it. I think they kept the spirit of the first one. It's still got that like indie charm about it, but also ups the fucking jokes, ups the money, ups the antics, and in the best way possible. Personally, I think it's on par with the first one, if not maybe a little better in some degrees, while also below a little bit. It's just kind of one of those things that you're gonna have to see for yourself to know. I'm really glad I got a chance to check it out for Screamfest. Thank you, Screamfest. Thank you, Deathgasm 2 Goremageddon. Be on the lookout for that. Were you a fan of the first one? Was it a little rough around the edges? You weren't 100% on it either? Because I was kind of like at a 7, I think, on the first one as well. And, I don't know what it is. Sometimes horror comedies can be like that, Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Hit the like and subscribe button. Happy Voidtober. We got so much more planned for you guys. I know I keep saying it, but I'm working on so many videos behind the scenes and watching so many movies. It's insane. But thanks for coming by, and as always, long live the void.